action! Alright, cast tutorial number 8. Animation. Now this is going to be the last one for this. Today I'm covering actual animating your model. And I will also show rendering both for picture and the actual animation. Now before we get into anything, we have to make sure that this is all connected. And that would be under modify, add rigging. There's nothing up here, so that means they're all rigged to the pelvis. Hold down Shift, selects multiple bones. And there. So now we need to turn this see-through and freeze it. So now we can just select the bones. Now before we get into anything, I wanted to make this flow like cloth. So instead of like flapping his wings, he'll be actually flowing through the wind. In order to do that, I needed to get some reference. So I went on to Google and I looked up floating cloth. Now, before you do things like this, looking up anything for reference, as long as it's not the picture, it's fine. But if you use the picture or the video, you have to give the people their credit. I went on to YouTube and found user GebWV84 and used his cloth blowing in the breeze video as a reference. So, that was the best I could find, but basically I need the front part to go up first and come down while the rest of the bones follow in like kind of like a flowing fashion. And now this is going to be tricky, but after messing around with the bones, I realized that I could have made the head first and had the bone selected starting here and then going down to make the wings. And then I could click here again and go down the wings that way. And again, clicked here, come down here. And then using the same method, make the two parts of the mouth. But I didn't do that. I'll do that next time, now that I know more about that. So there. So, before we go into actually animating it, you gotta click here, go to motion. And now they have, depending on your version, Probably would have like a bunch of different stuff that you can do. Like I showed, the biped and the basic humanoid has preset animations, but we're making our own completely. So before I show you how to animate, I'm going to show you the buttons you need to know. First of all, down here you have your timeline. You got your slider that goes through it. As you can see, nothing's happening. Here is your auto key. Click that. Whenever you move anything, it'll make a note of that and make that a keyframe. Now, for those of you who don't know, keyframes are the frame that has the main picture or frame. And in the 3D, it's going to try to move your object from point A to point B between the two keyframes. Now, it'll be better to see it than for me to explain. So you'll get to see that in a minute. This, you just set the keys. Whatever you have selected, you click that, and it'll set that point. Now, even though we have auto key, that is an important tool. So, now up here, we have setup animation. Okay, edit that out. Over here, you drag down, and I am still unsure on the different properties of these. I just do the bottom one for animating him. Now, we click here, and now we can edit our animation sequence. Make sure we got auto key on. Good. Now, these eyeballs also don't need to be moved. So I am going to freeze these as well. The handles, however, do need to be moved. And these eyeballs need to be frozen. So, these still need to be able to be moved so that the eyes will look in the proper direction. So now, in order to get it flowing like the video, like so, we need to actually move the head up. Now, if you recall, because of my mistake, these bones are not connected, so when I try to move this, that happens. So what we're going to do, alright, if you notice, some of my vertices are not selected, and now he looks more like a turtle. But also, I'm making another mistake. Notice here, it's still on frame 0. So I'm going to undo that real quick. The first thing you want to do before you do any animation, select everything, set keys. So now, this is going to be the starting point. I have a theory. That can... Nope. Okay. Pelvis is not connected to anything. It's almost pointless at this point, but still. Alright. So, okay. I now know what's going on. Whoops. Apparently that's to animate the pelvis walking. So let's just do an abs layer. This way, it won't be swaying on me. Okay, now. Alright. Gurren my mistakes. Alright. Now action. If you notice, it's going to cause my head to go up. But we need to work on some vertices. Now, we need to unfreeze so that we can select our skin, go into the modify, edit envelopes, and it would help if it was not see-through. Now the thing with the wing there, that's going to move when I move the bones for that. So don't need to worry about that yet.
There. Now.
Bird would not be moving directly up like that. So, why are my things messed up like anyway? I think we need to rotate the entire head. We need to rotate everything. Now, this is where I mentioned before, things are going to get wonky. Or not. That is crazy. Now, as you see, it looks more like he's lifting his head up. And I think that's a proper start for floating. So now let's go another 10 frames. Lift it up slightly and rotate it to be starting to go down. Let's see how that looks. Now let's do 5 frames. Move it down. Rotate it a little bit more. Now, why am I not moving the wings yet? Because I find that if you do one section at a time, it will go a lot smoother and you won't be so stressed. And unlike drawing, you can go back and move things, just constantly going back and forth. So you can actually focus on just one thing. Now, some of you probably use spacebar to play certain vids. Don't do it in here, because watch. It does nothing. But, if you notice over here, selection lock toggle. I can't select anything else. So if you're trying to move things and you're having troubles like clicking on something else or accidentally selecting something or clicking off of it, you can hit that or spacebar. So, do not hit spacebar to play it. Just hit play animation over here. Now, how do you get a nice loop if you want to do the same animation over and over and over again? I might mess up on this one too. Highlight all of them. Click Shift, and it'll copy all of those keyframes. So I'm going to copy it once more. And now, I'm going to copy that and put it down at the end. Now it's time to get to the wings moving with it. Now, let's try to do them both at the same time. Oh, crap. Hate when that happens. Oh, the key's already set, so but now there's a problem with doing them all at once. Because we need to have it flowing, right? Sadly, we gotta do it one bone at a time. Now, this is where you can use the lines on your model for reference. So look at that, it's looking kind of pinched. Now it's looking alright. But to get that flowing, we need to have that almost follow the head. And this part following suit, but not exactly. So that needs to be rotated down just a teeny bit. And look at my lines on the model here. It's starting to look a little bit more fluid. And look over here. It's already almost lined up the way I want it to. But at this point, I need this end to still be on the same level. See how well that flows. It's a little rigid because these are still pretty much the same. Now we won't know for certain until we do a little bit more animating. So let's see where my key points are. I'm gonna move this up again. Rotate that a little bit. Now this section's going to start moving up a little. And of course, only one! Only one! I have not been interrupted in. And it's because everybody was gone. I was expecting someone to call me. What's up?
Do you have money for the bus?
I have bus tokens that's in my pocket.
Okay.
My coat pocket, that is. A little an envelope thing. In the pocket of my coat.
There's one over there.
While I'm editing. Alright. Action. Alright, even though I just copied the starting point for that, I'm not going to do the same with these. Well, maybe that. Let's see if it flows well. I don't like that part of it. It's still just a little bit rigid, but I can fix that. Especially if I speed it up a little bit. Oh, did it again. Alright. So now, got my left side working. Now what about the right side? Twin, select all these bones. Shoot. Okay, if I did a normal skeleton, there would be ways to copy what you've done on the left side and mirror it to the bones on the right. Unfortunately, I don't have that. So, I'm going to try something. What did I just do? Too bad it's too late. See what I just discovered? Connect bones. I could connect that to that. Oh, it's too late now. Everything's been weeded and whatnot. And there's reassign root. Wow. Alright, bone tools, remember that. Looks like I'm just gonna have to do everything on the other side. Now for the small head, I don't want it to follow this exactly. I want it to follow the feathers. But just notice those two freaking feathers. Now, watch the eyes. So those eyes are constantly looking at my dummies here. So I need it to start looking in the direction that they're actually looking. And I'm thinking when it's going down, I want it to look down.
Someone else noticed this?
Alright, now that is pretty much done. Okay, check properties, please. Oh yeah, unfreeze all. Now, when you go to render, it's gonna like show everything. There's a way to make it so it doesn't render bones, but it has not worked for me yet. So what I'm going to do, hide unselected. So now only my model is visible. Now at this point, we can go to the modifier list and add Turbo Smooth. Now my model looks a little bit smoother, and his wings don't look like a block. Oh, hold on, I missed something. What? I am a little bit lagged because of all the models. So that's probably just a visual error. I forgot something. My feathers. So there was a Alright. Select similar. Selects all my feathers and nothing but the feathers. So now I can select boom, 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 and boom. And then I can hide unselected. Hi, honey. How's it going? Oh, poor little one. You scared her somehow. No. Hi. Did mommy scare you? Well, I love you. Huh? Aw. Well, I'm gonna have to let you go. I'm in the middle of something. I'm sorry. I love you. Bye. Okay, second interruption. And action. So now, how do we capture this beautiful, somewhat choppy animation? Well, first of all, take out key off. Go to here. Let it load a bit. Wow. Hold on. Okay, right here is supposed to be the picture for the cameras. Object type, target. Now you can click anywhere and it'll create the camera. Now you notice that cone of cold that's coming off of it. That is what it's going to see. This box here is going to be your screen. Now if you click on the camera, you can move where it's going to stand. But to have the viewpoint, you gotta click on the little square. Now it's not going to be as easy as that because if you notice the camera is really close to the subject. Gotta move the camera. Now it's still not easy. Click on orthographic up here. Cameras, camera 1. Now you're seeing what the camera's seeing. That's a little too much negative space for my taste. Now you can position where the camera's looking right here by holding down the middle mouse button. But scrolling in, you cannot do. So, back to here. Now we gotta reduce that space. One thing we could do is move the camera closer. Ah. Notice part of my wing is going up out of frame. Now, a straight shot like this is kind of boring. So let's give it a little bit more of a dramatic effect by angling it. That just looks silly. And hide by name, because I really want this one. Because I want him to look at you. Oh, wait. I want him to look at you. Oh, I know what I'm doing wrong. How about... Oh! Now, I could have the mouth open, but for this animation, I don't think that's necessary. And to get a better view on it, we could take edge faces off. Now, to render it, render setup. Now there's a lot of things you can mess with. Now down here, output size, this all looks good. There's buttons you can click to do the standard frame size. Now you could, if you got effects in there that you don't want in this particular rendering, click effects, atmospheres, displacements. Force two-sided, again, if you have something that only shows one side, you can click that and it'll show both the sides being colored. Now here's what you really need to do every single time. Render output. Click here. Gotta tell it which folder you want to put in. And now you also gotta select the type of file you want. Now here you can choose to do movie or just a picture. For now I'm just going to do a JPEG. JPEG stuff. Now, up here, single frame, active time segment, which is the whole thing, or you can tell which parts to render. Right now I just want my one JPEG. Click render. And that's what it's going to look like. Save image. But the thing is, it's already there. So I don't need to save the image. This is just in case you want to save it as like a different picture. You could just do it from here. Now I want the entire active segment. Now we gotta save it. Save it as a QuickTime file. We click render. We just gotta wait it out. Yeah. I'm still a little busy. Oh, he's been calling me. So anyway, I'm almost done. I'll vid call you guys when I'm done, okay? Alright, bye. Take it 5 minutes. So, your animation should pop up in the folder you put it in. Just to check, there's my JPEG. Turned out fine. And, oops, I did not want. Here's my QuickTime movie, which cannot be freaking QuickTime. Lasts for 3 seconds. Alright, so it rendered perfectly. So we can close these out. And that is how you animate. So this is the end of this section. Will I make more tutorials? Probably. Won't see them for a while. I do plan on doing my clothing and hair tutorials, but I gotta mess around with that, so it's going to take a while. So feel free to browse the interwebs on YouTube for anything else because, like I said, I'm still learning and I'm still practicing. So if you have any comments about what I did wrong, any structural feedback will be helpful. So just put in the comments about your structure critiques. I'll learn from you, you learn from me, learn from my mistakes. And I will see you later.